In this video, I'm going to show you another factoring technique that's a visual way of doing it using Alge-Tiles. So if you remember, you were introduced to Alge-Tiles during your middle level years. So over the past few years, you should have seen these different tiles. You will also learn how to factor this expression that's listed here using an algebraic way. But for now, you don't know how to factor this expression. So if you try to do it with the common factoring that we did in the last video, you can see that there's nothing in common between the three terms. So there's nothing that we can do. So what are we trying to do when we're factoring? Again, we're trying to find expressions that we can multiply together to get what we started with. So how is that represented? It's represented in a rectangle, right? If you have something multiplied by something else, the way you find the area of a rectangle is just the length times the width. So what we can do here is we can try to arrange the tiles represented by this expression into a rectangle. So I encourage you to pause the video and see if you can rearrange these Alge-Tiles that I have listed into a rectangle. And then I'm going to show you that you can just basically read off the dimensions, and the dimensions of this rectangle are going to be the factors of 3x squared plus 7x plus 2. So if you were able to get something that looks like this, and it doesn't have to be exactly like this, it could be like flipped the other way, but it should be similar to looking like this. So one of the big mistakes that that's made when trying to use Alge-Tiles in this way is students like to place the x tiles in a way that doesn't match up with the dimensions of an x squared block. So what I mean by that is an x squared block is x by x. So if by chance you did something like this, like you can't place an x tile like that. You have to line the x side up with the x side. So this is the x tile is an x by 1 tile. So on the end it's 1, and then on the side there it's x. The other thing that you can't do is you can't put 1 tiles right next to the x squared tile because they just don't line up. You have to have them line up with the proper side of the other tile. So once you're all good and you have your rectangle, and again they won't always be able to form a rectangle. The only way they can form a rectangle is if the expression is able to be factored. And in this case, the expression that we had is able to be factored. So now we can get the factors by just looking at the dimensions. So along the top, or the length, right, we have an x, we have an x, we have an x, and we have a 1. So that is 3x plus 1. So that's the length. Then we can look down the side. So look at the width, and we have an x, 1, and a 1, right? Because again, those x squared tiles are just x times x. And the x tiles are just x times 1. So then along the side, that is x plus 2. That's what represents our width, right? We have the x plus the 1, which is x plus 2. So the factored expression of 3x squared plus 7x plus 2 is just x plus 2 multiplied by 3x plus 1. and that's how you do it visually. And again, I told you, once you learn how to do it algebraically, then you'll be able to verify, you know, either method by using the other method. So hopefully that helps, and hopefully that makes sense. Enjoy.